What we're saying is you guys were right. That's what we're saying. You
No,
were right.
Molly, you did not say that, Molly. No,
I'm saying
no,
it.
That is
no.
what you said.
You
That
did
is
not.
what you
That's
said.
not what you said, Molly.
What are you guys
That is not what
talking?
you said.
I literally just
no,
brought it up.
you were talking about saying, but
Proving
we
everyone
no,
right.
Molly.
Okay, so it appears we got more sports media drama, and this one involves ESPN, particularly Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim. So what's happening is that Stephen A. Smith's alleged girlfriend is going on social media and airing out dirty laundry out in public. She alleges a lot of crazy things that Molly has done, like trying to destroy Stephen A.'s career and accused him of SA. Her name is Nikita Pearson, but she goes by the IG handle Mrs. Stephen A. Smith. And just doing some background check on her, you can see it appears her and Stephen A. do have some sort of history. Anyways, this is what she posted the other day on IG. Do you all want to know what happened? Molly Qerim falsely accused Stephen A. of SA after he rejected her advances. She planted lies on social media about them having an affair and blamed Jalen Rose. She calls Stephen A. SA as a sub to mean SA. Molly, Stephen A. and I told you to stop, but you wouldn't listen. ESPN, what are your thoughts? I got more where this comes from. You either correct her or I will continue to do it since you have prohibited Stephen A. from talking about us. Molly is not a victim, she is the villain playing victim after she did all the dirt. Okay, so that's what Nikita posted, and she actually goes into more details about everything in this clip I'm about to show you.
Hey y'all, you ready for a little story time? You know that kid in school who's always like really quiet? And there's a bully that keeps on picking on him until everybody finally finds out that that kid got them hands. I'm that kid that got them hands. So let's have a little story time about Molly on First Take. See, Molly came at me last night for the, I don't know how many times, from a fake account. And she was making fun of me. But she didn't know that I know who she is. And so I told her, like Stephen told her, to stop calling him SA. But she wouldn't listen. And I told her not to do it again or I was going to air her out. And so she decided to get on First Take today to do it. So let me tell you a little bit about Molly and why she calls Stephen SA. Molly actually falsely accused Stephen of sexual harassment. This was after he rejected her advances because I guess she thought that he didn't really love me. Anyway, so let's go back about Molly. See, Molly was the one who actually planted the story about her and Stephen having an affair. When Stephen wanted to address it, his bosses told him not to. Molly blamed that on Jalen, her ex-husband. But it was really Molly. Molly was jealous because, see, Jalen told Molly not to move to Connecticut, but she didn't listen. And then she got mad at the results. So then she decided to go after Stephen A. after she saw him coming up even more. Well, baby, she didn't know that Stephen A. is all about Nikita. So anyway, she plants this story and she thought it was going to faze me, but it didn't, because the one thing I know about my man, he likes all the assets. And she ain't got none. Anyway, so she let it play out. And so when it didn't come, I told Stephen at that moment, I said, you should nip this in the bud because she is going to claim you harassed her. And he said, no, my bosses told me not to. And there's another story about those bosses that actually are trying to sabotage Stephen A. at ESPN, but I'll talk about that later. So today, Molly was the one who did it. She planted the story. She falsely accused Stephen. And apparently she didn't think I was about this life. But baby, I'm about this life. See, Stephen should have told you, not only am I a banking expert, I'm an IT expert. And on top of that, I was the EEO director at the FDIC. Now, you better come again before you come correct, before you come at me. Because I'd rather be growing my baby. But baby, I'll stop and take care of you. Molly girl, hey, you thought I forgot about you? Oh, I didn't. I just had things to do. Let me put my glasses on because class is in session. You see, when people don't think water is wet, you got to take them to the ocean. So let's have part 2 about Molly. See, the reason that Molly decided to go and make these false accusations against Stephen A. is simply because she wanted money. Molly is in contract negotiations, and she only makes $400,000 a year. And I said only because me, somebody y'all don't even know, I made that in the federal government. But anyway, Molly wants to make Stephen A. money when she doesn't have Stephen A. talent. And so you can't do that. See, Molly is dry. She lacks really any talent and personality to be on television. You haven't seen her across multiple platforms because nobody wants her. She doesn't resonate with an audience. That's simply it. So if you want Stephen A. money, you need to have Stephen A. talent. Okay? Second thing is, Molly had help with Norby because Norby is that type of manager. You know, that manager who hates to see you succeed more than them and to make more money more than them. He's that person. And so they found a way that they thought they could hold Stephen A. down. That's what's happened. So, since Norby has been hating for a long time on talent that makes more than him, he's going to reap what he sows. So let me tell you what's going to happen with Molly and ESPN because of Norby. Molly will not be working on First Take next season. As a matter of fact, she won't be working at ESPN. Molly is going to get sick again. Her illness is going to come back, and it's going to stay. Further, ESPN profits and ratings will continue to decline until Norby Williams is moved out of that organization. Norby is a cancer, and what God will not tolerate is people being hurt by bad managers. That is what's going to happen. And if ESPN doesn't remove Norby, what's further going to happen is ESPN will fail to exist in the future. And Fox will take over as the nation's leader and as it relates to sports. Now, let me know if you're still feeling froggy and you want some more of these facts. You better ask somebody about me, because this is so y'all make sure y'all record it so when it happens, that you know you can't play with me.
One thing I will say is if this lady who claims to be Stephen A's girl, she probably isn't anymore. Stephen A has always made it clear in public that he's a very private person. You don't see this guy exposing his personal life like that in public. Again, this is all alleged and I'm reporting on it because it came up on my newsfeed timeline and started trending. But it's interesting that this is coming out now after the recent FS1 lawsuit, which exposed another female host/moderator in Joy Taylor. One thing I will say is that this should be a lesson for y'all. Never mess with a coworker because nothing good can come out of it. There's plenty of other fish in the sea and you don't need to hook up with someone you work with every day. It's not a good look, and if things ever get messy, why put yourself in that position to ruin your career also? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the situation with Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim. Do you think there are any truths to these claims by Mrs. Stephen A. Smith?